Hi, today I will be talking about how we should live for Christ, not the world. These days with society, they tell us to live as the world. Newsflash, we shouldn't be living as the world, we should be living as the Word. The world these days is about immodesty, the worship of money and fame, idolatry, lust, and laziness. And the Bible is against all of those things. I will be reading Bible verses that are against those things, and also talking about how we should live for Christ amidst all the craziness and chaos of this world. So let's get into the video. Here's the key verse for this video. 1 John 2:15 through 17 says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." The first topic that I will be discussing is idolatry. And the idols of this world can be money, success, fame, food, working, sports, power, your appearance, and phones. Here are the verses for all of those. Matthew 6:24 says, and this verse is talking about money, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." This verse is talking about success. Jeremiah 9:23 through 24 says, "This is what the Lord says, let not the wise boast of their wisdom, or the strong boast of their strength, or the rich boast of their riches. But let the one who boasts boast about this, that they have the understanding to know me, that I am the Lord, who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord." This verse talks about power. Mark 10:42 through 43 says, "Jesus called them together and said, You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." This verse is talking about fame. John 12:43 says, "For they loved human praise more than praise from God." Here's a verse about food. Philippians 3:19 says, "Their destiny is destruction. Their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is set on earthly things." Here are the verses for sports and going to the gym. 1 Timothy 4:8 says, "For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." And then here's one about work. Ecclesiastes 2:11 says, "Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless. A chasing after the wind, nothing was gained under the sun." This verse can be talking about phones or other technology. Psalm 115:4 through 8 says, "But their idols are silver and gold, made by human hands. They have mouths but cannot speak, eyes but cannot see. They have ears but cannot hear, noses but cannot smell. They have hands but cannot feel, feet but cannot walk, nor can they utter a sound with their throats. Those who make them will be like them, and so will all who trust in them." This is the verse about appearance, worrying about your appearance. 1 Peter 3:3 through 4 says, "Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the fading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight." Here's one for the girls. This talks about modesty. 1 Timothy 2:9 through 10 says, "I also want the women to dress modestly, with decency and propriety, adorning themselves not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes, but with good deeds, appropriate for women who profess to worship God." In our lives, we need to have priorities. We need to have God over all. My parents would tell me, if you have a sports game on Sunday morning or Wednesday nights, then you can't make it because we are going to church. I have a job, and on my schedules, I put Sundays as my off days. Doing this can help with spiritual discernment. Remember, God is over all things. Galatians 2:20 says, "It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me." Here's examples how we can live like Christ. Study His Word, love God, love others, invest in maturity, choose humility, be prayerful, practice the fruits of the Spirit. Thank y'all for watching this video. I really hope this helped you in your faith. I hope y'all have a great day or night. Peace, love, and mercy. Bye.